Hey there, Kenneth French of Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. We're very, very happy you stopped by. Either you're going to watch this or listen to this because you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably an entrepreneur who's either just starting out or you've been around for quite a while and you want to take your business to the next level. You're probably a real estate investor, maybe even a real estate agent, maybe a professional or of some sort, professional advisor of some sort. And well, you are stopping by because you need some valuable advice from one of the top industry leaders there is. Anyway, thank you very much. Once again, Kenneth French, Vast Voice, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. Really glad that you stopped by.
You know what that is. You've heard of it. You know, usually the stuff in that publication or online through that Forbes.com website is really, really good. And why am I saying that? I wrote an article. I used to be the contributor for Forbes.com. I did small business contributing for small business owners, entrepreneurs. I wrote an article, 5 tax hacks for entrepreneurs, and it still holds true today. Some of the concepts I talked about, I'm going to throw some of those ideas out really quickly right now. They will add value if you're an entrepreneur who's pretty well heeled. My name is Kenneth French. I'm here talking to Vast Voices, telling business secrets to entrepreneurs. A lot of people don't know about these 5 tax hacks that can really save you money, that are legal and very smart. So let's go to number one, define benefit plans. A lot of people don't know, if you're a solopreneur specifically, or maybe an entrepreneur with not a huge number of employees, it might make sense to install a defined benefit plan. You can lower your taxes, save for retirement, and hopefully, really, who knows, help grow the nest egg of a key employee along the way. Number 2, 453A, basically an installment sale. You can, let's say you have a business that you have $1 million basis in, and now it's worth $10 million. You can basically stall out some of the payments, and it lowers your tax liability. Very complex, but it can really save an entrepreneur a lot of money if they're selling their business. And even on the buying side, you can save some money because you're helping the business owner to, the selling business owner to lower some taxes as a result. Captives, 831Bs, huge way of lowering tax liability. Just recently, we helped a client put in $2.5 million in premium, lowered his big time, lowered his risk profile, and then also helped him to save money in taxes. But really, he was doing it specifically to, lower his risk. He had huge amounts of risk, couldn't find insurance out in the kind of the retail marketplace. Now he has customized insurance policies that are now also lowering his tax liability along with the risk. So 2 things that are, a whole bunch of things that are wise there for him and for a lot of business owners as it relates to, lowering risk and also lowering tax liability. Number 4, 1202 QSBS is sometimes what they call. It's an IRS code. Basically, if you have a C Corp, it basically makes it sometimes so you don't have nearly as big of a tax hit, because you don't have to pay on the earnings on the difference between your basis and what you're selling the company for. A lot of moving parts on the IRS 1202, but something to look about. Ask an advisor. What I should also say is ask an advisor about all these things. And if your advisor doesn't know anything about them or wants more education, please go ahead and send them our way or talk to another advisor who can help. These are very sophisticated issues and matters, really, if you think about tax liability and ways to, increase the net worth. And if you're not talking to the right people, you can really be harmed. These are great ways to lower tax liability, increase, and really in the end, to increase your net worth at the same time. Number 5, very important, R&D tax credits. We just talked to someone just 2 days ago, as a matter of fact. We're going to end up lowering his taxes because, his tax provider wasn't helping him with some of the R&D tax credits, some of the things that he's pushing the envelope for as far as R&D, research and development, that will lower his tax liability in a humongous way. And an R&D tax credit is different. It's not as though you have to apply for it. You put it on your tax return. There's a specific form, a number of forms that outline the tax credit that you should be receiving, but there's no application. It doesn't really open you up to, to audit, as some people think. It's just, if you're doing good and trying to push the envelope and trying to, potentially do some research and development that isn't out there in the marketplace for a product, for a technology, et cetera, especially for AI. People listening to AI out there have got to be applying for R&D tax credits, or I should say justifying for R&D tax credits. You will save some money. It's basically a dollar for dollar gift from the government because you're pushing the envelope, trying to better really not only your company but potentially capitalism in a certain way, because you're doing something that's not already out in the marketplace. You might be able to fail. There's a number of tests you have to I'm not even going to say apply, that you have to reach. But then again, if you are bettering, really, if you think about it, bettering society by trying to do a new technology, it's better for the United States. Really, I would almost say, this is going to sound crazy, it's better for humanity at what you're doing. Hey, go for that R&D tax credit. Those are the 5 tax hacks that I outlined in my article when I wrote for the Forbes.com when I was a small business contributor. Who am I? Kenneth French. I run vastsolutionsgroup.com, and we're here talking about really entrepreneur issues. And what are some of those issues? Well, taxes, finance, we talk about AI. We're doing everything we can to help the small entrepreneur who's really probably now struggling more than ever. Here we are in 2024 and 25, really getting ready to, hopefully expand their business. And that's what we're here for, is to help you as a business owner if you're in that camp. If you have any questions, go ahead and go to vastsolutionsgroup.com. Again, vastsolutionsgroup.com. If you have any issues, you want to learn about some of the things we've talked about, you can reach out to us. And if you have any specific ways that we can better ourselves through what we're doing here on this, our podcast or our webinars that we call Vastcast, please let us know. How do you let us know? Info@vastsolutionsgroup.com. Info@vastsolutionsgroup.com. It's really been a pleasure you spending the time. We totally appreciate you spending the time here learning about the 5 tax hacks that can save you and hopefully make you money in the end.